Yep. I was right to call it by chapter 30. I was right. It doesn't happen very often, but when I do it, people are always surprised. Chapter 30 brings us now more in-depth plot. We're getting plot line. Finally. Love it. Love to see it. It's fantastic. And it's an inclusion of multiple characters. Multiple characters. I love it. I love it. I love it. This chapter itself wasn't necessarily super great or super hype or super anything, but what it implies to us, what we're going to see as a result of this is what I hope the Jinyo was going to be. I hope this Ghost King of Decay is going to be and I'm getting some very Baragon sort of flashbacks here from Bleach. I'm getting Baragon flashbacks, the Ghost King of Decay and all this stuff. But I'm hoping that this doesn't only last, a handful of chapters. I'm hoping this is going to lead us into a longer running arc or plot line. Like, I don't want this to be over by chapter 40. I want this to go 30, 40 chapters of a storyline, an antagonist, something with secrets and mysteries and dialogues. Like, let's go. Let's get some actual good story because we have great characters in a great setting with a very interesting concept. Let's play around with it. Let's see what we can do. And this chapter is setting that up. And I'm so happy because it's been argued that this was intended to be sort of a shonen romance, sort of Inuyasha style thing. And then it turned itself into more of a high school drama, comedy, slice of life thing with just the ninja element on the side. It's not going to be a focus. The Ayakashi, the demons, the Ninja Association, all that stuff. That's not going to be it's not really a main plot thing. This is a slice of life with supernatural, right? And though that's not a bad concept in itself, what was implied to us and what I believe a lot of us assumed was very different. As I said, it was supposed to be more of a classic shonen. It was supposed to be more Black Cat meets Inuyasha, sort of. That's the vibe I got. And here is leading me down a path to believe that, no, it was just sort of a weird way to get to here. But I'm hoping that this is the start of a longer running plot. And I know I've hyped this up. The whole start of the video is just me being hyped that we might actually have a plot line to follow. It's so good because we get this guy, this Ghost King, who's so pissed off at this little girl who apparently sealed her away. The Ayakashi medium sealed her away, right? And that's the beginning part of the chapter. Now, the rest of the main cast, you got Suzu, you got Matsuri, you got Shirogane, they're following Garaku all around the city, right? Like, following him. They're not really trusting of him right now, and they're weirded out. Now, Suzu notices this tree, and once again, big connections to Inuyasha here. God tree, sacred tree sort of idea. I mean, that was like the thing in Inuyasha. So, I've always had a feeling like if I ever were to get my own manga creations off the ground, that is something that I would have to include. I would have a sacred tree be relevant. Just a callback to the feudal fairy tale itself. To me, one of the classics. A classic of manga would be Inuyasha, of course. And here we're getting that, and Suzu is resonating with this tree and stuff. And once again, it just speaks so much to me. I think it's more nostalgia for Inuyasha than anything else. But I'm like, okay, so they go to this art museum. They go where Garaku has done all these arts and stuff, and they find this one little portrait of the sacred tree. And Suzu starts crying, and she asks Garaku, where is this tree? Because it feels so nostalgic to me, like I'm crying. Like, she recognizes, she doesn't try to hide it, and everybody's a little shocked by it. Now, Garaku seems melancholy, but seems to know something. As we know before, if she doesn't remember me, then it's not time and stuff, and it's implied that the being inside of Suzu, the long-haired version, is the Ayakashi medium from centuries ago or time. Maybe the Ayakashi medium is more of a single soul that jumps sort of, once again, going on Inuyasha here, reincarnation sort of theory that constantly goes through different people. There was Midoriko, then there was Kikyo, and then there was Kagome. Here we're having the same idea here with Suzu and that Ayakashi medium. Suzu is still Suzu, but she's also the Ayakashi medium. The Ayakashi medium is more of having the presence, Sailor Moon-esque, and the same idea, right? Like, it's a different body in a different time, but it's still her at the core, and she needs to unlock her old memories. This has been done in many different things. This has been done in Fairy Tale. It's been done in Rave. I guess Mushroom likes to do that shit. But this has been done in many different formats, and I like it here because it adds a lot of credence to a lot of people's theories about who the long-haired Suzu was on the Reddits and stuff like that. Garaku here does, like, as I said, look very melancholy, but then says, no, you're mistaken. Like, there's no way you could know this tree. And Suzu's frustrated by this, and Garaku says, well, we can go there. And they go to where this is, and it's an observatory platform, like right above a highway. It looks very, classic Japan sort of idea. You get the highway, then you get the overhang, and you get the trees and everything, and the mountains in the background. Very nice scenery. I'm sure that's why there's an observatory platform there. And it says, but this was cut down back in the Meiji era. Well, the Meiji era was like 150 years ago. So there's no way you would know this, right? Like, the Meiji era was in the when did the Meiji era start? Like 1836, 1866, onwards or whatever, right? The Shinsengumi and all that stuff. The Kyoto was burned or whatever happened. The Meiji thing, that was all, that was 2 centuries ago, roughly. And so, or basically, there's no way even their parents would have been alive during the Meiji. Or at the beginning, I should say, of the Meiji, because I believe the Meiji era is still the era they're in today. But either way, my history lessons are all jumbled up here somewhere. If I could chronologically order them, I think we'd be okay. But I probably gave like 3 wrong statements in that little thing. But either way, Garaku then says, explains why they would cut down everything. And all the greenery you see here, none of this was here. Lumber was a big source, and we know all about that sort of history. Fossil fuels, lumber, building materials, they were required. So all the greenery you see here, none of this was here. Like, none of these plant life or trees or anything that you see right now before us are more than, a few decades old at most. None of these are centuries old. None of these are sacred. There is no sacred trees in this area anymore. And so then Garaku says, but I painted this based on my own memory because he was around during all this. And then we see a memory of him saying, and he talks about it, and we see a memory, long-haired Suzu, clearly, and there's Garaku, clearly, the sky, sea, and earth. This place was her favorite place. Here she was surrounded by flowers, birds, the wind, and the moon, all the beauty of nature. And Suzu asks, who? She. And then we get a really creepy shot of like those really creepy kabuki play masks. Like, those are just creepy as hell. Like, oh, I'm a smiling old man, but I'm also creepy as fuck. Let's go, right? With all the wrinkles and the rosy cheeks, like deformed Santa Claus look. And found you. And then Matsuri on the ball. Bang. No problem, right? But then it starts to decay, and Shirogane even recognizes this is corrosion. It's the result of coming in contact with this energy. This is born from dust. The king of dust, the ghost king, Chira. All right, I'm going to butcher this name, but this is why I pulled up the manga chapter. It's Chirizuka Kaio. Or Kaio. Something like that. Anyways, the ghost king of dust. He looks badass. He's got that very, old, ancient look to him. The fan, the decay. As I said, I get a bit of a Baragon feel from him, from Bleach. But he looks like extremely menacing. Like, the Jinyo was powerful and stuff, but this guy looks like on a whole nother tier. He looks like on a level. And he's got that name, literally, the Ghost King of Dust. All things eventually turn to ash. I feel like this should be voiced by Yamato. All things in the universe return to ashes. Ryujin Jaka. Because here we're getting all things eventually turn to dust. Fear and respect me, humans, as I command over everything in this world. And Shirogane says, I heard a rumor about this guy, explains who it is. He says, don't get in my way, human, I'm only interested in the girl. I finally found you, the Ayakashi medium. You preached to us to be peace with humans, but then you sealed me away. I hate you, I'm going to end you, all that stuff. And nobody knows what the hell it is talking about. Of course, it's going to be some connection to the long-haired sister, as I said. It's probably something to do with a reincarnation theory. The Ayakashi medium has always been a single soul, but it jumps through time in that way in reincarnation and stuff, and currently into the form of Suzu. Now, Garaku actually takes hold of Suzu, and now Matsuri and Shirogane think the worst of Garaku, but I believe that Garaku, of course, is trying to protect Suzu here, and says, "It's been a while, Ghost King. If it isn't Garaku, I applaud you for bringing the Ayakashi medium to me." And then they're all like, "Oh no, it can't be." But Garaku has not betrayed them. He's probably used Suzu a little bit here, maybe to lure him out or explain something. We don't know. Garaku is always going to be that ambiguous in the gray area. He might look like he's betraying them. And maybe he will hand over Suzu here. And then Matsuri's going to be like, "Garaku, I'm going to kill you." He's like, "If we had fought the Ghost King here, we would have been dead." You know, sort of a Kisuke vibe from Garaku here. A lot of Bleach references right now. But having that whole, if we had tried to fight the Ghost King here on his home turf, we all would have been slaughtered. Or at the very least, some of us would have died. Here, by giving, he's not going to kill Suzu right away because here's what he's after. Now, we have the opportunity to do this, this, and this. That might be the case, or he might go, "Yeah, I'm totally going to hand him over, fring," you know, and then be like, no, I'm fighting you. And we're going to see Garaku in full action against this Ghost King. Right now, remember, Matsuri is not, I don't believe, on this level. Suzu doesn't know how to use her powers necessarily completely yet, and Shirogane is in a very weakened state. So Garaku's the strongest one here as an opposing force to the Ghost King. So, yes, shonen battle. Let's go. Let's do it. I want to see this stuff. This is what I was here. This is what I was excited about to see with such a great art style. I've always been a huge fan. I don't know why. I really like this art style, and I really wanted to see more and more fights, battles, that kind of idea, and what they could do with different characters. So this is going to be really epic. I'm really looking forward to Chapter 31. Chapter 30 here was really good. As I said, it's more of just a setup chapter. That's all it's doing. Because half the chapter was just sort of, yeah, we're going to follow Garaku around and hijinks ensue. But then we got into the serious stuff. We got a lot of questions. A lot of theories can be created. A lot of implications. I just really enjoyed it. But what did you guys think? Like, this is what I was after. This is what I was hoping for. I talked about this chapter review after chapter review after chapter review previous to this, that, you know, it's been really, like, this has been a slow start. This has been an extremely slow start if we're actually going, if this isn't a slice of life with ninjas on the side. If this is going to actually have some real plot lines and storylines and isn't going to be a villain of the week Power Ranger style, then they need to really get off the ground and start soon. And I called it Chapter 30. By Chapter 30, we better start seeing some actual plot direction. And didn't disappoint. So let's freaking go. I'm good with this. What did you guys think? Like, comment, and subscribe as always. It's always very much appreciated. And don't forget, guys, we are trying to get to 500 subscribers. Not 300 subscribers, not 400 subscribers. 500 subscribers in the month of March. And if we get there, first week of April, I will be making a video, a milestone 500 sub video of whatever content you guys want. Popular vote wins, of course. You know, this is a democracy. So definitely let me know what you guys want to see me make a video of, and let me know what your thoughts are on this particular chapter, because I'm pretty stoked about it. So once again, this has been Griever. Drink responsibly as always, and we'll see you back here next time for Chapter 31 of Ayakashi Triangle. I'm looking forward to it. This week has been really good for chapters. You guys feel that? I feel that. All right, we'll see you back here next time.